Have you ever observed how some shops and companies in your neighborhood remain open despite a lack of customers? Suppose a company has a particularly complicated corporate structure where it's difficult to see who the real beneficiary is. In that case, they're predominantly a cash firm with erratic purchase patterns or mainly deal in intangibles. You may be looking at a front for money laundering, and you may have already walked by them, but the last 5 on this list will make you rethink certain things. Welcome back to another exciting video. Most common money laundering businesses. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. Candy stores. We're sure you've seen them. How did these candy merchants afford to pay rent in central London for numerous levels in a building when they knew how much money there was in candy? As it turns out, a lot of filthy money. They not only discovered that these establishments were used for money laundering, but they also had to place a hold on their assets, which meant that the police had to confiscate the sweets and put them all into evidence. Claw machine and play areas. A similar trend exists in cash business key locations with erratic patterns. The claw is rigged, but so are the books. Because you're winning awards, because they rationalize it, the accounting for these enterprises is dodgy AF. This month, the consumer purchased 1x the number of iPhones and hundreds of $100 bills. The problem is that you need many of them and many locations to justify the cash flow, and certain laser tag enterprises have also been linked to money laundering. Car wash. Breaking Bad's most despised character knew what had to be done. So they acquired a car wash to launder the money they obtained legitimately. It has a constant clientele, a high cash volume, and a lot of miscellaneous products for sale at above market prices. According to the supplier, they sold 100 air fresheners this week that they purchased for $1 each and sold for $15 each. Suppose something is grossly overpriced but appears on financial statements as sold and of high value. That's a huge red flag for money laundering. Psychic reading. But you weren't expecting this. But, yes, slick eggs are one of the most prevalent money laundering methods. Nobody will ask for a refund if you make up your hourly rate and the number of customers you serviced. They not only utilize this business to launder money, but also con their customers by emotionally influencing them. The most popular explanation is that the recent poor luck in their lives resulted from a curse placed on them in exchange for thousands of dollars. The psychic will gladly break the curse for you. Churches. You probably didn't see this one coming. Because churches are not required to file financial documents, they are ideal for money laundering. According to estimates, at least one of every 5 churches engages in money laundering or other financial misbehavior. There's even a Palermo convention that focuses primarily on the issue and attempts to mitigate its societal impact. Most televangelists use the church to amass enormous money for themselves, which they then justify as a gift from God. Art galleries. The art market is an ideal location for money laundering. Assume you have a friend who paints on paper, and you pay them $100,000. In truth, for a painting, you just handed them $10,000 for taxes on the $100,000, and then you bribe an appraiser to value the painting at $1 million. The painting is then donated to a museum, and you receive a $1 million tax break for less than $50,000. Welcome to the world of art, where intangible worth reigns supreme. Flower shops. Have you noticed how there are flower stores that are open 24 hours a day? It's not something you think about. But what does a flower shop sell at 1 a.m.? These are typically utilized for the sale of drugs or illegal goods. Because flowers are a perishable commodity, it's simple for them to claim that they sold 1 million tulips on Mother's Day without raising an eyebrow. If you think constant flower shops are insane, wait until the next one opens. Local cinemas. Small-town movie theaters are still operating even though no one goes to view movies, and anything less than a large cinema, such as an IMAX, is available. Even after COVID, these establishments remain operational. These rundown areas cannot even cover the cost of energy. But, now and again, if you check the records, you'll see some cheap movies from the past continuously pulling enormous numbers, at least on paper. Cash to crypto assets. The NFT mania was ridiculous, but crypto tumblers have been operating on the dark web, where individuals put in their cryptocurrency from unknown sources, and it gets mixed in with all the questionable cryptos. Then they get randomly redistributed cryptocurrencies like Monero, which were the go-tos because they had no transaction source. So, how did the money laundering take place? While some miner has 100 bitcoins on a hardware wallet, you give them $3 million in dirty money in cash in exchange for the wallet. You take the wallet to Dubai and buy yourself a villa on the palm with the crypto because they don't ask you the source of the funds. You hold the villa for a couple of years. You sell it for laundered cash without paying taxes and do it all for free. Fruits and grain. Fruit vendors, water vendors, and all the other small stalls where people sell their wares to tourists. That is why the service is so poor and the products are so costly. From the point of manufacture to the point of sale, every link in the chain can be exploited to launder money, and no one knows how many apples you collected this year. Not to mention that they have an excellent distribution network and use the routes to transfer funds to other types of merchandise and Alexa. These are just a few ideas to get your mind working. It's now your turn. What local business is a front for money laundering? Tell us in the comments. And since you're still here, here's a bonus. Banks are also involved. A cargo ship owned and operated by JP Morgan Chase was caught with $1.3 million in cocaine a few years back. They are not the only ones. Okay. HSBC offered more than $881 million in money laundering services to several drug cartels, including Mexico's Sinaloa cartel and Colombia's North Data through the cartel. HSBC is an example of this. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.